Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Junior,
I got dumped last week.
and we're
Depressed.
The
Oh, the Nerdy Bros. Right. We're the Nerdy Bros. I've been
and we're
I've been,
that was really good.
I've been thinking about doing that opening all day, like yesterday and today, and I was like, it'll be perfect.
It just totally caught me off guard. I was like, and we're the nerdy, and I just started laughing. Oh shit, that was funny.
Yeah, sorry about that. No,
Fine. You'll be fine.
I'll be fine. I feel a little bit better than used to. Not that we're gonna get into any of that, but no, I feel good.
Today is a therapy session, Tito. Please tell us about your feelings.
No. Anyways, guys, welcome back to the show. Hope you guys have been enjoying the episodes on YouTube. Hope you guys have been still listening and just enjoying the episodes in general. Me and Junior continue to have a lot of fun putting these out there for our small audience right now, and hopefully it gets bigger and bigger as time goes forward.
Yeah, like I said at the beginning of the year or the end of last year, at the very least for me, I know this isn't really asking for a lot, but like I would like to have like an audience of at least 100 by the end of this year. It'd be fantastic if it was way more than that.
That would be fantastic.
But yeah, at least 100 would be awesome. So, yeah. But yeah, for everybody that has been enjoying it and still watching it and supporting us every single week, we thank you guys. You guys are awesome, and I hope you guys continue to listen and or watch us now, and tell your friends, tell your family that we out here doing the damn thing.
And as always, that we be doing the damn thing, we like to start every episode off with Junior's hot take. And this is part of the episode where I ask Junior about something new and upcoming and get his hot take and his hot opinion on it, see what's going on in that mind, and see if we can't get a little conversation running with it. And Junior,
Yes.
I know, obviously, a while ago, the first season aired, and we mentioned that we both really enjoyed it. Recently, it was said that the second season has been finished like filming, and so I'm pretty sure later this year we should be getting season 2 of The Witcher with Henry Cavill. Are you excited about that?
Yes. The game. We've talked about it before. The game is fantastic. I've almost bought it like 3 different times. I've gone to GameStop because I see like the definitive edition that's got like all the DLC for like $20.
Wait, like the third one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I was about to say like
no, because the other ones were only for like PC and Xbox. I think.
First one was PC, second one was Xbox.
Yeah. I really, really enjoyed the first season of this series on Netflix. I thought they did a good job with it. I think Henry Cavill is fantastic Geralt of Rivia.
So good.
Yeah, and like I hear they're going to be bringing on like more characters. I think Jason Momoa is going to be in this season.
I didn't even hear that, and that makes me extremely excited.
So I think he's going to be part of this season. Yeah, and I just hope they kind of start to bring more of the characters from the game. Again, I've only played the third one because it was the only one that was available for PlayStation. So, yeah, I've really wanted to like get into the books though, because I hear the books are really good too.
Get on that audiobook.
Yeah.
Troy's always saying that's like some of the most fun he ends up having sometimes, especially with long days at work or if you got long drives. If you're out of podcasts, just do your audiobooks.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could pay too much attention to that. I mean, I do like podcasts and stuff like that, but I don't know if I could listen to an entire book and think that I could just completely pay attention to it without like just like daydreaming about random other stuff.
Well, I mean, if you're listening, I guess, not everybody's mind works the same, but like I think that you and I have that type of imagination where if we're listening to something, it's basically playing like a movie in your head.
Well, you were listening to a series. Did you finish it? Or at least
I finished the first book and I'm on the second book.
So you started the second. Did you start it?
Yes. Yeah. I'm like already like 3 or 4 chapters into the second book.
When was the last time you listened to it?
The Chronicles of Prydain. A couple weeks ago, I was actually down here in the basement, like reorganizing some stuff, and I was listening to the book. I was like done with my podcast. Like I remembered where I had left off. Like I didn't like forget.
Yeah, I don't know if I would want to necessarily be driving. Very few things actually make me anxious, but like if I'm like afraid of like missing a turn or something, then I don't know if I'd want to be like super paying attention to like a book or something. But yeah, no, if I'm like cleaning or doing laundry or something like in my room, I feel like that would be the best time to like listen to an audiobook, at least for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm not like listening to any sort of like autobiographies or like, scientific stuff. I'm listening to like fantasy novels and stuff. Like I did funny enough, finally for the first time actually finished Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. And
Oh,
that's
you did finish it?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Weren't you listening to it when it was like there was like a bunch of famous people that read the books, right?
Yeah, it was like right at the beginning of the pandemic and stuff, and yeah, it was like actors and other famous people were reading like one chapter at a time,
That does
and
sound kind of cool though.
yeah, it was cool. It was cool like to listen to like some of these actors that were reading like chapters of the first book, and they're still doing it. I just haven't started to listen to the Chamber of Secrets yet or anything like that. But anyway, I digress. Yes, I'm excited for the second season of The Witcher, um, especially since the way that it ended in the first season. It was kind of like all. I mean, if you haven't watched it, it's not a huge spoiler, but it was like all kind of like, and it all ended up kind of being like a flashback
Well,
till
not
the
all of
end.
it. So like, and that was something that when you finally do figure it out, I mean, if you're super good at paying attention to minute details and paying attention to everything, and you're actually like absorbing all the information in the first episode, you can realize that like when you see Geralt versus when you see another part of the story, like they're not at the same time at all.
Mm-hmm.
There's like years that are in between, like the stuff that's going on. So
Plus, we got that sweet song.
yes,
Toss a coin to your Witcher.
oh Valley of
Yeah.
Plenty. Yeah. So
Again, we're singing.
I'm probably gonna rewatch the series at some point. But hopefully we get a release date soon.
Yeah.
As far as I just know that the filming was done, and I'm extremely excited. I like you
Yeah.
said, Henry Cavill made a fantastic girl. I can't wait to hear more of his.
That gravelly voice.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. For sure. I'm excited.
And then moving things right along, guys, we come back to one of our fan favorite segments known as
Anime is an important part of our culture.
and so Junior was telling me that apparently I
Oh, yeah,
wasn't
so
doing
depressed.
my my little. I was doing a little weird dance, but not like thinking of how long that like quick title sequence goes. And what was it like the last two episodes? I was like right on the cusp of
Yeah.
like not being like starting talking like a little bit too soon.
Yeah.
But no, this time I nailed it. This time I paid more attention. So starting off with this segment, I had kind of seen little tidbits here and there that people had been talking about this Netflix original. It's called Way of the Household Husband. Have you heard anything
No.
about that?
No.
So the premise is essentially like a Yakuza member. He's known as the Immortal Dragon. Is now just like a house husband. Like he does like his wife has like a career path, and he just takes care of everything like at home. And I thought, similar to most shows or animes and stuff, you'd have 20-minute episodes and the first season was out or whatever. And it's not like that at all. So Netflix has 5 episodes, but each one is broken up into 6 episodes. So it's literally like 3 to 4 minute episodes, and then there's 6 of them per like actual episode. So I kind of view it more as if you were like reading the Sunday comic, and it's just like that one like
It's like trapped in the closet is what it sounds like.
no
Little 3 minute things that just keep continuing the story.
Well, okay, but so that's the difference. Trapped in the Closet continues the story. This one, like each one is usually like its own unique thing, and it just ends up being just kind of like more funny stuff. Like, yeah, you do end up seeing some reoccurring characters and stuff like that, but you don't know. Like, if anybody reads the manga to this and they just know more of what's going on, obviously they're gonna know more than what I have. But as far as I know, they didn't really dive back into his past besides like, he used to be a gangster and now he's not. And you don't really see like the way that he and her meet. They're like already together when the show starts.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just, I don't know. It's just a lot of like just tiny little like funny episodic things that happen. But yeah, I gave it a watch and I finished it in one day. It was pretty funny. I think you would like it just for like a couple of laughs.
Well, yeah, you said it was only 5 episodes, and each episode was broken into like, did you say 6 3-minute?
It's like 3 to 4 minute segments because I think
it's
the
like,
episodes are
they're
only
still like 18-minute episodes.
yeah, they're only like
basically.
18-minute episodes. So yeah,
Yeah,
but it was
so 5 of them,
some
that
of them
didn't
were
take that long.
super hilarious. Other ones were like oh whatever, like this is kind of funny, but it didn't really make me laugh that much. But it was pretty cool.
It's like a movie. It's like an hour and a half.
Yeah. And I think I watched it at like work or something. I don't know. On like my breaks, I pretty much was able to get through it. I finally finished all of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, so I caught up to season 4 or part 5 as some people call it because it's the 5th iteration of a JoJo.
And the show's over. That's ongoing.
No. So apparently, like in the manga series, it would like if the anime was up to date with like the manga series, they're on like season 8 or something like that. And someone told me that it just keeps getting more and more ridiculous. Apparently, Jesus ends up in the series sooner or later. I don't know.
Jesus?
Yeah,
Is
Jesus.
that you?
Jesus Christ. Yes, my son. But yeah, no. So I don't know. I as far as I know, I don't know anything in the workings for when season 5 is going to be coming out or part 6. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed the last one that I watched. I thought a lot of the stands and their powers are really cool, and a lot of the action was pretty sweet. But yeah, I finally got through that. So next on my to-do list was just to kind of I need a recap. I think the last couple episodes of Promised Neverland, and then figure out whether or not I got it ending or not, so I can come back and say that, and then hopefully just kind of run and burn through Es Cryed, so I could finally tell James and his cousin that it's a good show.
You know, funny enough, we were talking about I don't remember if it was last episode or the episode before that. I think it was the last episode about TV shows or movies that don't necessarily always follow the subject matter, and like especially when it like pertains to like anime and manga and stuff. And I've been hearing that people are pretty pissed about season 2 of the Promised Neverland because it's completely different than from what happened in the manga.
There are a couple similarities that happen here and there. Like one of the coolest things that I've seen
I haven't seen any of the second season.
One of the coolest things that I sometimes see on TikTok is they'll literally take a scene from the manga, right? So it's just like the picture, and then they find the same exact scene in the anime, and they'll do like a side by side, like going back and forth, so you can, and it essentially ends up looking like the manga just got colored and animated. So it was like, it's amazing to see that the animators are completely taking from the source material, not just the story, but they're literally recreating as many of the scenes as they can. And so I know that is obviously sometimes something that is really upsetting to a lot of fans too, that both like read the manga and watch the anime. I think one of the most reoccurring things I hear is like, oh man, the internet's going to break as soon as this gets animated and stuff like that. So I don't know. I'm really excited for a lot of the stuff coming out. I just wish it was coming out faster. I'm tired of this waiting game, man. It's killing me.
So see, this is one of those things where we were talking about before. You said that you like it irks you with like comics, with like Marvel stuff that we seem to be like, oh, they changed this. This is not how it is in the comics or whatever. It's like, well, this is kind of one of those things because you put me onto the Promised Neverland, and I really liked the first season, and I'll probably end up liking the second season, but just knowing that this isn't the way that it's supposed to go kind of makes me feel a certain way where I'm like, if I end up liking it, then I'm going to be like, so how was it supposed to go?
So I do that. Like, if even regardless of how much I liked the show or whether or not I just thought it was subpar, I didn't like it at all. If I figure out that it's completely different or slightly different from what happened in the manga, once I finish the series, I'll like research like what the major differences was and what was truly upsetting to a lot of the fans that were like manga readers. But I don't do that till after I finish the show because I don't want to spoil anything for myself, essentially.
Yeah. All right. Well, segment over.
All
All right, Tito. So on to the next part of the show.
All right, Junior. Well, what have you been up to? Huh?
Me?
Yeah, you.
You almost always go first.
No, well, I feel like I do a lot of talking right away at the beginning. So when we
You
start this
do.
one, why
That's
don't
true.
you? What have you been up to? What you been playing, watching, doing? Let us know.
Well, let's see here. I've actually been playing quite a lot of video games lately. I'm probably more than 50% of the way through It Takes Two. Me and Megan have been playing it. You were just watching us play it a little bit upstairs.
It seems pretty cool.
It's really, really fun. For those of you who don't know, the premise is a husband and wife have decided to divorce, and they've just told their daughter, who's maybe, I don't know, like somewhere between like 8 and 10. And she kind of like makes a wish on these two like homemade dolls that she's made. And her parents' like souls get like transported into these two dolls, and now they have to work together to like navigate these puzzles and these like really, really cool whimsical worlds, to try to regain their like real bodies and stuff. So like as the game goes on, like at the point that I'm at, they're being a little bit more nicer to each other, but like at the beginning they're like kind of harsh to each other and bad talk, like bad mouthing each other and stuff, even when they're trying to like figure out some of these puzzles and stuff. But yeah, the game is like really, really cool. Like I said, there's like all these fantastical worlds that like when you're like in the daughter's room, there's like princess castles and like all this stuff. Like everything's like really big to you because you're playing like in the size of a doll. So I've been playing that. I finally started the DLC to Horizon Zero Dawn: The Frozen Wilds. I only played like a half hour, 45 minutes. I'm like having to get back into the groove of it because I like forgot all the different arrows that there was and all this stuff. And some of the enemies are actually kind of hard now. Like they were like even, and I don't know if they like with all the updates they kind of like brought down. They like nerfed the armor because once you found that like ultimate armor, you were like almost invincible in the game. But like I've had to like heal myself a few times having to fight some of the mechanical animals and like dinosaurs and stuff. So, but I am gonna get through it. I don't think the DLC is probably that long. Maybe another couple hours or whatever. Um, haven't gotten back into Final Fantasy VII Remake yet, but I think I'm on chapter 8 or 9. So like I'm like halfway, right? There's only like 15 or 16 chapters, something like that.
Something like that, yeah. You're
So,
probably
yeah.
I mean,
I think
but
I'm about
it took
halfway
you, it took
through.
you a long, like a decent time. Like you were playing a lot to get to the halfway point.
Yeah.
So you still got a while.
Yeah, so I still got about half of that game to go. But I had been enjoying it so far. TV wise, I'm still watching Twin Peaks. I'm getting close to the end of season 2. It's a super weird show, and it's just gotten weirder and weirder. Now there's like all these kinds of like weird like supernatural elements and stuff that got brought into it and stuff. I don't know. It's weird ass show, but yeah, I am enjoying it. Anime. I finished 13 episode anime called Glepnir. I think that's how it's pronounced. I don't know that is also like a weird anime, super funny, a lot of sexual innuendos, but they're like, it's funny because they're not even talking about sex, but the way that they word stuff and phrase things, you're like, yeah, they're talking about sex, but they're not. But it's really, really funny.
Oh, you talking about sex?
It's basically this like alien crash lands, and these humans are finding these like gold coins, and if you bring it back to the alien, he'll like grant you a wish, and he like transforms you into what your like true self or what you see yourself to be or what you desire. And the main character gets transformed into like a mascot costume kind of, who's like strong, but he can be unzipped, and like his best friend slash kind of like love interest like will get inside of him when he's in this suit form and like control him and fight other monsters and stuff like that. I don't know. It's really funny. Um, so far there's only been one season. I think it came out in 2020. So
Okay.
I'm hoping that the second season comes out by the end of this year because they didn't like they answered some questions at the end, but they definitely left you with a whole bunch of
Unanswered questions.
unanswered questions. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much all I've been up to. What about you? Well, I've watched a movie here and there, but we'll get in that in a second. What about you, Tito?
So I haven't touched Dragon Quest really. Instead,
But you beat it though. It's just
well, yeah, but
the platinum that you
I
said
talked about
you
it.
want to go to.
No, so well, like I beat it, but the definitive edition that came out, or it might have even been in the original edition.
No, it wasn't the 2D stuff that you were talking
No,
about.
not just that though. There's a part of the game where I think I explained in the last episode or not. You can travel back in time, and it kind of gives you a different final boss. So there's still more to the story. I was just trying to see if I can accomplish any side questing stuff before just continuing on with that. But I haven't really jumped back into it. I was playing Sackboy Big Adventure with our younger brother, but he just hadn't been playing. He was playing other stuff. I think when we got Monster Hunter Rise, like we switched from really paying attention to that. So when I went and saw my my best friend over the weekend, and he helped me beat that, and now I'm only like 3 trophies away from that platinum. Although one of them is incredibly hard. You remember watching me do some of the Knitted Night time trials, right? Like me and Brian, you remember watching this?
Yeah.
So essentially, those are just like race to the finish, and then there's a bunch of different like whether it was traps or moving platforms or what have you, and you could clearly just fall off and like screw yourself. And
I just remember watching you suck.
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
Brian,
So
like, being the one to
most
get
of
to the
those
end.
were like do it in like 20, 25 seconds, 30 seconds to get the gold trophy, but you could also get like a silver and bronze.
Mm-hmm.
So after you beat all 15 of those, you unlock the ultimate trial, and it's all of them put into one run. So it's 15 trials. Obviously, they just cut off kind of like the ending of it.
Mm-hmm.
And you have 10 minutes to do it so you can get the gold, and that's how you get the trophy. But there's no like checkpoint at any given point. So if I accidentally fall off, I have to restart the whole thing. So I think like
That seems pretty doable since it's like you said
you would
there was
think-
like 25 seconds or 30
you
seconds
would
per one.
think, well, like that's the thing. Like I almost want to say that, well, because like if I make it and it's like 10 minutes and 1 second, I'm just yeeting myself off the second story.
Well, but here's the
window,
thing,
but-
like sometimes because I've done stuff where it's like time trialed and stuff like that, where it's just like all I want to do is get to the end so that I know that I can get to the end, and then because the other thing is like if you just took your time and you made it to the end and you beat it in like let's say under that, let's say you did it in like 9 minutes and 45 seconds or 53 seconds, you'd be like, I did it. I don't have to do it ever again. And I took my time. Now, if you really, really took your time and you did it in like 10 minutes or even like 11 minutes, you're like, okay, I took my time and I only went over by 1 minute or I only went over by 15 seconds. Like, I know that if I just go a little bit faster, I can easily do this.
Yeah.
So have you even gotten to the end?
No. Because I keep dying at the same and it's not even like they go in order from like 1 to 15. They jumble them around, and you actually watched me and Brian do this one. There's these spiky crabs that go back and forth on platforms, and then there's electric eels.
Yes.
And they just like rotate in the same spot. So there's always a point where some part of the platform is covered by them.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to make like these death-defying like jumps to completely either get over them or just kind of like cut like a quick corner and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, I've made it to that part like 4 different times. And at that point, I think it's like the 7th or 8th trial that I'm on when I get to that one. And I'm only at like 4 minutes. But I keep dying, so I don't know. It's very discouraging. Brian was over the other day, and I think I tried it like 4 times, and I was like, okay, I'm done. But so I was working on that. I'm really just trying to beat Sun and Moon right now, I think. So I think I got further than what I was before. I'm just waiting to find the last Pokemon to complete my team that I want, and I think I like randomly hunted one thing on Monster Hunter Rise. But I honestly feel like I need more playing time with like you and Brian for that
it's like
game.
that's what I'm waiting for. I
Like,
haven't
yeah.
played like at all.
I haven't really dived back into like the village quest as much. So I think once the three of us can play that again, but also like the next time that the three of us are all going to be able to hang out. I said be able like twice in a row really fast there. I think I'm trying to do the Pokeathon. Like that's
we're
what
hanging out tomorrow.
Yes.
But
Well,
we're gonna
we're gonna go see the Demon Slayer movie.
Mugen Train.
Yes. So I'm really excited for that. But yeah, so hopefully we do the Pokeathon extremely soon. I think we said maybe Saturday we're going to be able to do it.
Yeah, I think so.
So hopefully we get that done, and then next week we can cue everybody in on who won or how that went. So that'll be fun. TV wise, I don't think I watched. So I mentioned a while ago that I finished rewatching all of iCarly, and then I recently watched like two of the movies that they did. It was like Psycho, the one where they get trapped in the basement by that crazy fan. And then what was the other one? I think I had started I Go to Japan, but I didn't finish it. I fell asleep. But I watched another one. Oh, I Quit iCarly. That was one where they meet these two kids, Dave and Fleck, who are like best friends and also make funny videos. And then they get into a fight and stop being friends. And then Carly and Sam try to get in the middle of it, and because of that, they stop being friends. So I watched those two. I watched a few more episodes of Shameless. We watched the Mortal Kombat movie, which we can talk about in a little bit. So that was pretty cool. But I think that's about it. I've again just been gaming and been working a lot.
Yeah. So we watched the Mortal Kombat movie. Despite what some people have been saying about it sucking or the critics or whatever, I thought it was awesome.
No, yeah. People saying that it sucked, you're wrong.
Yeah.
You're wrong. The only thing...
The fight sines were awesome. The CGI was superb. And
the only thing that I it's not like I'm not upset about it. I just it's more like I'm upset at how long it took me to realize that like Cole Young was just supposed to be a brand new character.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just sitting there like, I pretty sure I know my MK mythology pretty well. Who the fuck is this kid?
Yeah. I mean, like, I knew it was going to be like a new character, but I don't really want to spoil it too much, but like, I'm glad that he got tied in. Like, it was tied into
for sure
to the story. It wasn't just like, here's just a new character and it's got absolutely to do with nothing else. I mean, definitely the best fights were the beginning. Literally, the opening of the movie, like, just fucking kicked you right in the face. And then you're like, yes you're going to love this movie. And then the end fight was fantastic, too. So I hope that... I enjoyed this movie. So I hope that this was just like I'd be okay if this was just like here's a taste, even though I thought it was really good. Like, here's a taste. And like wait for what's coming, because then we're gonna get like way more other characters, more fighting, hopefully like an actual tournament.
No, yes, 100%. I definitely feel like that was the plan all along for the people that made it. Because like I said, they reached kind of into like the bag of like villains and characters and pulled out a couple characters that a lot of people probably don't even remember. Yeah, a couple ones that are very like canon and people definitely know for sure, but some older ones too. The only thing I was semi upset about, and this doesn't spoil any part of the story, but Raiden doesn't fight anybody in the movie. And I was literally just completely looking forward to hopefully they would do like Raiden is like my favorite character, or like my second favorite character to play as behind Scorpion. And like my favorite move to use with him is like Flying Thunder, where he just like shoots at you and you just hear and he like flies forward. But I was just like, I was really hoping that they were gonna take that sound effect from the game and have him do the like.
He was my
flying
least
lightning.
favorite character.
Raiden? Like wait, in the movie or just
in the movie?
Oh,
in
okay.
the movie, him and then in Shang Tsung. I think those were the
okay.
only two where I wish they
Did
could have done a
you-
little bit better.
Did you like? Yeah, I will say, no lie at all. I have no problem saying this. I wish they would have used the same guy that played Shang Tsung in the original movie.
Yeah.
Because he's been the same voice actor for Shang Tsung in the last like
Johnny
three.
Tsunami's grandpa.
Yeah, in the last three Mortal Kombat games, and he just screams villain, and I love it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I wish it would have used him too. Like, I understand this was like a reboot, and they were like, we're gonna make everyone's gonna be young or whatever. But here's one thing: Kano stole the fucking show.
you think he stole the show?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I thought you were like a little upset with what they kind of do with his character a little
Yes, I was. That was the only thing, because, well, like I said, the only thing that I kind of didn't really like was that they gave it like a Marvel-y, where it was like, hey, this is an action movie or whatever, but like we're also kind of lighthearted, and there's gonna be this lovable character that's gonna say all these funny quippy things, and you're gonna laugh your ass off. But it's like, that's not what Mortal Kombat is. So like I didn't really like that, but at the same time, yeah, I was laughing my ass off. It was really funny, but yeah, I wasn't like, oh, come on. Like, yeah, I was laughing. It was hilarious. But like, I wish that it wasn't in there. Yeah, I wish it wasn't in there technically. But again, I really enjoyed the movie, and I'm excited for a sequel and
Yes.
however many other sequels that they do.
I
As long
want-
as they don't
I want
kill it.
just as many. Yeah, as long as they're always going to put in the same production value.
Yeah.
Like I want as many movies as there are games. Like let's do it.
Yeah, well, that'd be a lot. But
That'd be
anyway, so one last movie that I watched recently was Nomadland, and I'm currently watching Another Round, and both of those are movies that were nominated and won in their respective categories at the Oscars.
Which happened when last week?
On Sunday.
Oh, it happened on Sunday.
Yeah, last
Okay.
Sunday. So this week I thought that we would talk about the Oscars, because, I mean, what kind of TV, movie, video game, anime podcast would we be if we didn't talk about like the biggest thing in show business with respect to movies? So yeah, so I watched Nomadland.
How did you like that?
It was good. It was good. I did like it, but the thing is that I want to now see some of the others, if not all of the other movies that were also nominated for Best Picture, and like for myself rank them, because I did like it, but part of me is like, I don't know if I would have liked this more than, say, maybe one of the other movies that was also nominated.
What was its like movie category?
Well, it won like Best Picture.
No. What was its movie category? Like you know what I mean?
Oh, like
The
genre.
genre, yeah,
You're talking
yeah.
about genre.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like a coming of age story, even though like it's not. Like, it was a coming of age
but that's
story.
not a genre, is it?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Coming of age is I don't
Yes.
think that's a genre.
Yes, it is. A coming of age story is definitely a genre. I mean, like a drama. It was like a drama, but like a coming of age story. Like, I don't know. There was like funny moments, and then there was like sad moments, and then
You could have a coming of age story that's also an action movie, but then it would be considered an action movie. Like that's the genre that it would fall under.
I mean, there's tons of genres. But anyway, like, I don't know. I guess I would say like it was a drama. But
Okay.
it's basically a movie about, and like I haven't done the research, so like I don't know if it's like based on the true story or not, but like at the beginning it says like in 2011 like this company got shut down, and like everybody in the town worked for this one company. So when this company shut down, like this zip code like just got wiped off the face of the earth because everybody moved out of the town. So the town became a ghost town like almost overnight. Like it was just gone. So the main character, Fran, is Fran. Now I'm already forgetting. I don't even. I think her name is. I think it's Fran. Um.
You done goof, sir. Can't even remember it, and you just watched it today.
Yeah.
And apparently it won an Oscar?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it did win an Oscar. Um. The main character, her husband dies, and like I said, the company shuts down, so like everybody like moves out of this town, and she ends up living in a van, and she kind of bounces around from like, it's like every year she like bounces around to these different places that just keep hiring seasonally. So she like works at like Amazon for a while until they don't need her anymore. Then she works at like another place and then another place, and that like that's how kind of like how she makes her living. And one of her friends tells her like, hey, you should like come out to this like desert area in Arizona where like a bunch of us that like kind of live like nomadic lifestyles like all gather, and we like swap stuff and we trade things, and we like all kind of learn about how to like be self-sustainable and blah 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 blah. And she does that, and she like meets some new people. Like at first she doesn't want to, but then she like meets new people. So like basically the movie's all about like self-discovery. Like she's kind of like discovering more about herself and like how to be alone and like how to live like this like nomadic lifestyle out of her van. And she like, you know, stumbles a little bit, kind of finds her way. And I don't know, the ending was pretty good. Like it kind of like came full circle. And yeah, I mean, like I enjoyed it. Like I said, I'm gonna have to see the other ones to see like how they compare, but like I can see why like this one won Best Picture. The acting was really good, and yeah, but
Were there any movies that you had seen that were
Fern,
nominated?
her name was Fern, but the reason I said Fran is because the actress is Frances McDermott, who played Fern. She was the movie that I know that you know her from is Madeline. That was the little girl with the yellow, right? The French.
Yes, she was the
She
nun.
played
Yeah.
Miss Clavel, the
Yeah,
nun.
the nun. Were there any movies that were like up against it that you had seen or you had at least heard of, or were they all pretty much just not non-existent to you till you saw it at the Oscars?
I want to say there was maybe one other one that I had known, but yeah, for the most part, a lot of the movies I had like never even heard of. Then again, it's like this past year was like really weird, especially with like movies and stuff. So it was just like whatever you knew or whatever you were excited about is like what you knew about. And like especially now that like people don't watch TV, like everyone's like on Netflix and Hulu and HBO and Amazon. So like there isn't a whole bunch of like their commercials are telling you like this is what's coming to our thing. It's not like these are all the new movies that you can catch in a movie theater right now or whatever.
Yeah, that's true.
So
But I mean, Netflix shows are still considered like TV, right? Like the Emmys are for TV, so like there's definitely been Netflix shows that have won awards, isn't there?
yeah.
It's just Netflix obviously doesn't have commercials.
Right. So I watched that, and then like I said, I'm watching right now another round, which was the winner for best international feature film. And that one I had heard of.
What does that mean? Best international feature film.
Like it basically won best film, but it's international, so it's not American.
Okay, so,
So like, and there was like a movie from like China. There was like a movie from like India. There, I think there was one that was like Korean.
okay.
So yeah. Funny enough, last year the same movie won Best International and Best Film. Like overall, they won both.
That was Parasite, right?
Yeah.
I
Which,
still have not seen that movie.
well, get ready, Tito, because that's gonna be your movie this.
Okay,
That's gonna be your
nailed it.
movie this week. I'll just
What-
go ahead and just tell you right now.
What was it? What was it on? Didn't
It's on Hulu.
it is on Hulu? All right,
Yeah.
perfect.
So yeah, you can watch that. See, I'm just trying to see like what were the other nominees for that. Oh, you know what? Actually, one of them I did see, The Trial of the Chicago 7, which is on Netflix, and it was really good. Was one of the other ones that was put up against Nomadland. That one has Sacha Cohen Baron. Actually, that movie has a lot of big name actors. Has Eddie Redmayne is in it also.
What was the Trial of the Seven about?
It was about the civil rights movement and stuff that was going on like during the 60s and 70s, and like these riots that like happened in Chicago, and these like police like violently like beating people and stuff like that, and these like 7 people get put on trial for inciting the riots, and like the cards are stacked against them like hard.
Is it like based on a true story? So like
Yes.
this already
Yes.
this happened in real life? Okay, okay.
Yes.
So technically you could spoil it and it wouldn't be a spoiler because like you could just look up what actually happened in real life.
Sacha Cohen Baron's character wrote a book and like put it in like when it went to like bookstores and stuff like that, and like in the book, like at the beginning of the page, it was like, if you're a true believer or a real follower of me, like you'll steal this book and not pay for it or whatever.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Okay, let me ask you this so did he direct it or he was in it?
he was in it. It was written by
Can you
Aaron
take him
Sorkin.
seriously in something like that, knowing he made like The Dictator, Bruno, and Borat?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he was really good in that movie.
All right.
Really good. Like I feel like he's been in other stuff where he's not like his
No.
characters.
Like, yes, obviously he has been, but I'm just saying, like, when you see him, I know plenty of people that still go, like make the Borat voice and still make jokes like that. Like it just came out like 2 days ago or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So my name Borat. So it's just like I feel like, especially for them, even like that are still saying that type of stuff, that when they see him, like I don't know if they take him seriously. I know, like I think for like Jim Carrey, when he came out with the movie 23, like it was extremely hard for me to like watch that movie and like try to take it as like, why is Jim Carrey like not being funny in this? Like I love him in all of his movies.
Yeah,
and
but that came out like way later. There, he did the Truman Show way before that, and that was not like a funny movie. It was like a serious movie.
no, yeah, but like
he was funny at points,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it was
that was the
also
other thing,
like
too.
really sad.
and I watched that movie in what was it? It was like 7th grade English, I'm pretty sure, in Miss Duvik's class. I watched that movie, but like I could still see like hints of like Jim Carrey from his other movies in that movie. So that's why I think like that one didn't hit me as hard as like the number 23, because that one was like a psychological thriller almost, with all the stuff that was going on in that, and even like the different twists and the ending and the stuff that ended up happening.
Yeah, that movie was nominated for a few Oscars back in 1999.
The Truman Show?
Yeah.
It's a great movie. If
Yeah.
you haven't seen it, definitely check it out.
But so actually actually like half of these movies I had heard of. So I actually hadn't heard of Nomadland. Sound of Metal I had heard of. Promising Young Woman I had heard of. And Judas and the Black Messiah and The Trial of the Chicago 7 were all movies that I'd actually heard of. But the only one that I saw was The Trial of the Chicago 7. I actually watched that way long ago, like 5 months ago or so. I watched that movie on Netflix. Cause I like watched a little trailer that played, And I was like, damn, this looks good. And I watched it that night, and I was like, holy shit, this is like really good. And Frances McDermott won the Oscar for Best Actress like this year. So their movie won. Their movie like did really well. Nomadland actually also won Best Director, which the director is Chloe Zhao. And I don't know if I've seen any of her other movies, but they won for Best Film, they won for Best Actress in a Leading Role, and they won for Best Director. They may have won for one or two other things too. I can't remember off the top of my head, but
Dude, so that's just like best film over. So the best movie that came out last year, that's what that category is for.
right.
Do they also do like a category for each of the different like, the top tier genres? Like, is there like best action, best comedy, best horror?
No,
They don't do any of that?
No.
Okay.
It's Best Film, and then the other one that they have is like Best International, and then short film, documentary, animated, and animated short.
Ooh. Who won those last two?
So for animated, I believe it was Soul that won.
I still haven't seen Soul yet.
I also haven't seen Soul yet.
What about animated short? Do you remember? Dude, there have been some amazing
Soul
animated
was
shorts.
the animated feature, and then animated short.
I'm trying to think. Disney Plus has like a whole kind of like little, not window. I don't know what the hell.
Oh yeah, actually I did see. I saw this one too. Yeah, if it was the one that was going around a lot.
COVID
on TikTok. No, you dumbass. If anything happens, I love you. That was on TikTok a lot.
That was the animated short.
Yeah,
one?
it's like a 12-minute one. It's on Netflix. I saw it.
I did not.
It was the one that everyone was saying like you'll start crying like within like 3 minutes of watching it.
Oh, okay. I might have to look it up, but yeah, no.
Yeah, I mean it's like I said, it's short. You
yeah.
can watch it on Netflix. It's like 12 minutes long. I watched it. I didn't cry. I mean it was good and it was sad, but like I was like nah, not like I don't know. It makes you think. I'll give him that. Like. Well, I mean, like I don't want to ruin it for you. So like, you should just.
Well, yeah, it's like 12 minutes. Yeah, we shouldn't. Yeah, everyone can take like a 12 minutes. Next time you're taking a poop, just check it out.
But so for supporting actress, it was a Korean actress that won. I'm probably gonna butcher her name. It was Yoo Young Jun, and it was for the movie Minari, which actually stars Steven Yeun, the
guy from The
Glenn.
Walking Dead. Yeah,
Yeah.
Glenn from The Walking Dead.
And the guy who voices Invincible in the show Invincible.
Yes, he does. It's Christina Yang that voices his mom. I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
Yeah. That's her character's name on Grey's Anatomy.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't remember what her real name is.
And then J.
I did
Jonah
know
Jameson voices the dad, which is awesome.
Which is also not his real name either.
Which is also not.
But yeah, she won. I haven't seen that movie, but like knowing that like Steven Yeun's in it, like draws me a little bit. So like I might want to check that one out. Like the synopsis for it or the little thing that it says, like I think it says like I don't even know if it says Korean family. I can't remember, but it either says like Korean family or like Asian family. But it's like owns a ranch in whatever. It's like they own a farm or whatever. They buy a farm, and it's so I don't know if it's like their struggles with the farm or I don't know if it's like race related or anything like that. But I mean, obviously it was nominated for like Best Picture and like nominated for other things. I mean, it must have been good. So I'll probably check that one out. But like at first, I wanted to check out like the ones that
won,
got like that one, and then I wanted to check the ones with the actors that won so I could see their performances in it. I just so happened that Nomadland had the best actress and had also won the best movie of the year.
Yeah, I can't even remember when's the last time like I sat through an entire award show. Most of the time, I just end up like either seeing the highlights or I end up like hearing that the host was like beyond hilarious, and I'll just watch like all the funniest moments that they ended up doing. What was it? Ricky Gervais hosted. It wasn't the Oscars. It was I
It
think
might have been the Oscars, but only like 2
or the
years
Golden
ago
Globes or
or
something.
whatever.
Yeah, and he was just not a train wreck, but he was just not holding back on any of his jokes. And
he
gave
was
absolutely
roasting
no
the
fuck.
shit out of everybody.
Yeah, I loved it. It was awesome.
Daniel Kaluuya won Best Supporting Actor. He was the guy that betrays King T'Challa in Black Panther, the dude that like has the shields, who on the you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
He also was like the main character in
Get Out, right?
Get Out. Yeah. I didn't know he was British.
You didn't?
No.
I've seen him in like in interviews, and obviously I hear the British accent. It's the same thing with Poe from no, not Poe. Finn from the Star Wars movies. Like in interviews, like you can tell
John Boyega.
Yeah, John Boyega. Yeah, he's British. Like,
yeah, but like he went up there to give a speech and he was like, "Bruh, we gonna get lit tonight," and I was like, "What the fuck? He's British?" No, yeah, but so he won for Judas and the Black Messiah, and I believe that movie is about like the Black Panther Party and like the Black Panther movement. If I'm not mistaken, I don't know, but I think that is what it's about. And like he plays like he plays like a real person that lived in real life.
okay, so that's something else.
Yeah.
Based on a true story. All right, cool.
So I'll want to check that one out as well. And then the best actor went to Sir Anthony Hopkins for the movie The Father, which I definitely want to see, but like that one's like probably will be the last one that I watch, or if there's like a funny one, maybe I'll watch The Father and then I'll watch the funny one, because like I feel like that one's gonna be like really intense.
Do you know like any premise behind it?
Yeah,
Okay.
like it's Anthony Hopkins plays an elderly man. I mean, he is elderly. He's like 83.
Yes, it would be a little weird to cast him as a young
Yeah.
person.
He plays an elderly father who is being taken care of by his daughter, and he's going through dementia and stuff, and he doesn't like think he's going through dementia. And then like it also said that there's parts of the movie where like you're unsure of what's real and what's not, because it's like all being told through like his perspective.
That's kind of cool though. They've
Yeah.
done that. They've done that before in a couple other movies, or like it's kind of the same thing where it's like it's up to your own interpretation. But it would be kind of cool to see, because obviously, if out of nowhere like the wall just starts talking to him, you could be like, oh, it's just his dementia.
Yeah.
Whatever. But
I don't think
like,
it gets like that severe, but like I'm sure that there's like parts where like one of the things like I remember is like in the movie The Joker, where like at the end you like realize that like all that shit with the girlfriend or whatever like wasn't fucking happening at all, and then you're like, oh shit, like he made all this shit up in his head. So like that's the same thing. It's like we've known people who have been like affected by like early onset dementia and stuff like that. So it's like, it kind of hits close to home and stuff like that. And it's just one of those things where it's like, fuck, man, like I don't want that type of stuff to like happen to like family members and stuff like that. So I don't know. It's one of those movies where I'm like I want to watch it because again, like Sir Anthony Hopkins is fucking probably one of the best like living actors right now.
I love him.
But like I'm like, oh, that's like really heavy like subject matter to tackle in a movie or whatever.
It really is. But like at the same time, I feel like there was stuff that people were afraid to tackle before, or even try to take on or make a movie about, that I think like now with like better understandings, it's just sometimes they're able to really capture kind of what somebody like that is going through. Other times, obviously, I mean, the internet is fast about letting you know if you messed up what you were trying to portray, and again, they're not afraid of, you know, critiquing, come to completely just shut you down. Um,
All right. So real quick, I wanted to ask you kind of now. So now I want to get your hot take on something. So I don't
Lay it
know
on
if
me.
you had heard or seen anything about this, but so Chadwick Boseman was also up for the Oscar for best actor or like best male actor in a leading role.
Okay.
And obviously, like I just said, Sir Anthony Hopkins won it. Well, first of all, really cool thing. Sir Anthony Hopkins is the oldest person to ever win the Oscar at 83 years old. But a lot of people were pissed, or at the very least upset, that Chadwick Boseman didn't win it like posthumously. Now,
Wait, okay. Sometimes I use words incorrectly. Sometimes
posthumously
I
means
just
like
don't know
after
words.
death.
Okay.
Like, you know how you've heard that word before. I'm
No,
sure.
I'm not sure.
Like, you know, people, you know, like in cop shows and stuff like that, they'll be like, "Oh, this cop just got shot," so like he became like a lieutenant posthumously. It's like they basically just like they gave him the rank, like, "Oh, he died a sergeant, but he after he died, we gave him the promotion, so now he's lieutenant, whatever." Even though it doesn't fucking matter because he's dead now, but
I
so it's
mean,
like he was awarded
so
something
I'm
posthumously.
I would like to assume or like to think that if they gave him that rank, there might have been benefits that go to like the family. So in that case in point, yes, I feel like the promotion could be valid. But yes, if they're just gonna promote somebody to just give them a better rank, like after they're like, you know, they die, yeah, sometimes it's like it's not like it's disrespectful for them to be at their rank or, you know, where they were at. So are you asking me if I think that that was right?
Yeah, well,
Well,
not well,
first of all,
not,
what movie was?
okay, so here's the thing, right? So I haven't seen it, so I can't like really comment on it. But the movie that he was in was Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, and if I'm led to believe from what I just kind of just quickly did a little research on, is the main character is Ma Rainey, who was played by Viola Davis,
Okay, she's the one that plays
Amanda
Ma.
Waller.
Yeah. Oh no. Okay, yeah, wrong one.
Yes.
Wrong one.
So I think Chadwick Boseman was a big character, but I don't think that. Again, I haven't seen it, but I don't think that he was the main character of the movie. I think that he was a big enough presence in the movie that they were like he could be considered a main character, or he was like side by side with Viola Davis, also a main character, and at the very least they were like he was in it enough where we can sneak him into this category, but so that's where it's at. That's the movie, and it's all. This movie was also based on like true events that happened, like back in the day.
Well, no matter what, and it's gonna go the same for me in every single category that will ever be out there, and it'll be the same for me whether it was like right when I was born or to the point where I'm at now, or even in the near future. I You're winning an award for like the best of whatever category that you're in. So like I'm not on the panel to to critique and or award this award, you know, for whoever the hell is on it. I would assume kind of knows what they're doing. But at the same time, it's just like, yeah, I do think that people should get the award for like based on merit. I don't necessarily, and again, like, you know, you and I could watch The Father and we could watch this movie with Chadwick Boseman, and then like you and I could just agree on the fact that like, no, you know what? I think Chadwick Boseman like acted better in this than Anthony Hopkins did in The Father, and then that would just be our opinion. But like we get to have that, or you know, whatever. Again, we're not on that panel, or we don't critique or have the same criteria that the people that do make the calls for the awards do. But I don't think it should play into it. You can't be like, well, he died, so let's give him the award. Like, it was extremely sad, and it's different if people are trying to add to the fact that he was a phenomenal actor while he was battling this, and no matter what, you're never going to be able to take that away from him. I just don't know if like that means that like he just deserves the award.
Right.
That's
So-
like saying, if a firefighter putting himself like at at risk or whatever, and it's like, oh, he's also like battling this, and it's just like, okay, well, but everyone else there is also like they're risking their lives fighting for the fire. You can't just say just because he's also battling like another battle that he gets more recognition than the other ones did.
Well, I think that's exactly what they're saying, is that like he should also be commended because he continued to make movies and like do stunts and stuff like that despite battling cancer and stuff like that.
But that speaks more to him as a person.
Yeah,
not,
not
the acting in the
right,
specific movie that he was going to win the award
Right.
for. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if there was an award for
Well,
like who was the baddest
I don't
motherfucker
disagree
last
with
year,
you.
it would be Chadwick Boseman for like going through everything that he went through. And the other thing is like, I don't know if it was like public knowledge necessarily, and I'm pretty sure his coworkers, like in the Avengers movie, said that they were like, we didn't know it was that bad. We knew sometimes he had to go to the hospital, but we had no idea that it had gotten to like this point.
Yeah, it was like he wasn't like telling people like I have cancer.
I mean, he doesn't. No one has to. Like, it was his own personal business and stuff, and maybe like he was hearing good news, and then just from what I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of people who have had family or dealt with it themselves that they. It goes from one day to the next where things seem like it's going to be fine and it takes a turn for the worse. And we lost a phenomenal actor and person like in Chadwick Boseman to cancer. But yeah, again, it just ends up being because if you just tend to try to like, make an exception there, I think you could kind of like have everything else fall apart and then everyone's just going to try to look for loopholes. I will always just say that.
I don't necessarily think it's loopholes. Again, I understand where they're coming from, but again, I don't disagree. I think that it should be strictly on merit. I understand,
yes,
because same thing. Like I just said, I understand people being like, we're gonna give him that promotion, even though technically it doesn't matter anymore. But it's just gonna be like that one little last thing that we could do for him. Like we're gonna give him one little last award or one little last promotion, even though he's not here to see it or whatever. So like for them to just be like, just to honor Chad, we're gonna give him the Oscar, and it's like, like other people would probably be like, that's fine, like totally, this guy did, he was a good actor, he deserves it, he's not here anymore, so like good for him. But I mean, I'm also not speaking for anybody, but some people might just be like, they only fucking gave it to him because he's dead. Like
but I feel like you'll get that like wherever you go, and again, I mean, well, that's the other thing. I feel like that would probably be a smaller portion of people that would have complained about that and just said like, oh, they only gave it to him because he died, but he was still nominated for the category. So if he
we don't know the circumstances. He could have just been nominated just because they're like, we're gonna nominate him. Just because he's also just to put passed, him up there, to put him up there.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, I haven't seen either of those movies or any of the movies on there, and I there's a good chance that again that either they'll go right over my head or they won't really be my cup of tea anyways. To the point of like, most of the time, ever since I was little, I could probably say that my picks for the Oscars wouldn't be anywhere near what like actually gets picked. So.
Well, I mean, like this year wasn't like, as far as I know, like this year wasn't the year for like action movies or whatever, but it's like,
or stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like, I mean, like,
well, there's also so many movies got pushed back too that probably would have come out last year and stuff like that could have been in it and all this stuff.
I mean, like Gladiator won like Oscars, and like that's like your favorite movie of all time.
Hell yeah.
So like, I mean, it does happen. It's like it doesn't happen, but anyway, no, I just kind of wanted to get your opinion because there was like backlash that people were like pissed that he didn't win, and they were like, this is bullshit, he should have got the Oscar, yada yada yada. And it's like, well, it's also, I'm not a critic, you're not a critic, and most of these people that were probably pissed about it are also not critics.
Yes.
And I guarantee you they probably only went to go see his movie. I bet they didn't go see The Father or whatever. So it's like you really got to watch them all if you want to like really
and
criticize
you
and be
want
like
to
he should have won it.
and you want to be able to go into them like with an open mind and
Right.
you like if you were going to do that, I would say you would have to have like a criteria that's the same for every single movie.
Right.
Like not just judge it based on, because again, like you could win best actor in every different type of genre of movie that there is out there, but if you have like a bias towards like, oh, horror is my favorite genre, then you might pay more attention to the actor in that movie than you did to the other one. So like there would have to be a criteria that you use a template for every single actor that you wanted that for.
Well, anyway, his family just like came forward. Chadwick Boseman's family is like now come to the defense of Anthony Hopkins and been like, "Yo, let this shit go." Like this man. Like first of all, I hope that they're just like coming for the Academy. I hope that they're like, the Academy's bullshit. They should like Anthony Hopkins didn't deserve it. I hope they're not coming for Anthony Hopkins because this man has absolutely nothing to do with this. Like he just
did his
acted.
job. Yeah, he did his job, and
he didn't fucking pay anybody. Like this man already has an Oscar for Silence of the Lambs. Like
he won an Oscar for that.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So it's like this is his second one, and again, he's now the oldest. He's the oldest person to receive the Oscar. So it's like, dude, it has nothing to do with him. He acted. He's a badass fucking actor. Probably, like I said, one of the best living actors of our right now, like of our time period. So like, leave the man alone. Like, I think he came out and put out a statement saying that like he was grateful for the award, and like he even had some words to say about Chadwick Boseman too. So like, but like I'm glad to see that like his like Chadwick Boseman's family is like, yo, let it go. Like, especially like if Chadwick was alive, he wouldn't be fucking being like, oh man, do not come for this man for this. Like that's fucked up.
Yeah.
So but anyway, I just kind of want to talk about the Oscars
just a little bit. Would you recommend everyone to go and like check it out if they haven't already? The Oscars. Well, I mean the movies. They could take their own recommendations on the movies if they watch the Oscars. But would you say?
Well, like this is like post-pandemic. I mean, we're still technically like in the pandemic, but it's like I don't know. I mean, it's like if you're expecting like one of the best shows ever, like I mean, there was no like musical guests and like any of that stuff like they do in the Oscars normally. So like
maybe just watch the highlights then.
Yeah, like it's not worth 2.5 hours what I watched of it. Like it's cool. Like listening to some of the speeches were cool and stuff like that. So like if you just want to like check out some of the speeches, like for like I said, like the best female and male leading and supporting actors and like director and stuff like that, like totally check them out. But like yeah, I wouldn't say it's like worth 2.5 hours. But anyway, well, like I said, let's get to these last
couple of segments.
Last two segments here.
So I already know Parasite's going to be my new movie.
Yeah. So
and I am actually excited for that.
So let's talk about the movie then. Even though we usually do that one last, but let's talk about the movie. The I Assigned to You was
no, we do that first.
Oh,
then we do
yeah. All right, we do. Okay.
Come on, Junior. Get
so
your shit
Amadeus.
Together.
I Assigned to You Amadeus. So what'd you think?
It was misleading kind of at the beginning with like what happened, because the first scene was like kind of funny, or I felt like it was supposed to be funny, and I thought you had kind of given me like an old like satire movie, and I got kind of excited, and then it was Mozart's life. That's what it ended up being. The best parts for me were probably getting to hear some of like obviously the famous scores that he had made and watching him like compose them and stuff. I didn't do any research on it, but I'm assuming they try to be as true to what happened in his life as possible. And it just made me like relive like some nostalgic memories of, I'm pretty sure it was like, 5th or 6th grade where we got to watch this movie about Beethoven's life. Mm-hmm. So that's all we got for it. It wasn't bad. It wasn't my favorite. I know that it was like well received when it first came out, and it did have like actors in it that I recognized from, but I mean, obviously they were way younger back then. But I don't know. I'd probably just give it like a 6 or 7 out of 10 on like my scale. Like it was all right. Like if you like, because it was like a fictional biography, because like obviously like it's based on his life, but they probably took like little.
But it was told by
Yeah.
the guy Solieri,
Yeah.
who funny enough, like I was telling you, is the same actor who played the old version of Zero in the Grand Budapest Hotel, which was your movie from last week. And so in this movie and last week's movie, he was like the narrator that was telling the story of what happened. But in the movie, he claims that he murdered Mozart.
Oh, really? Oh, well, yeah. He claims that at the beginning.
Yeah.
But like, again, like it's not really a spoiler because like it's Mozart's life. Mozart's life is public knowledge or whatever. But like he didn't or whatever. You end up seeing like how things happened at the end and stuff. It was all right. I don't know.
Yeah.
Give him your spiel on what
it was. So it was rated 8.3, and Tito, it won 8 Oscars.
It won 8 Oscars.
Yes.
Really?
Yes, it won 8 Oscars.
So
that
right with our
year
theme. Holy
in
crap.
1984.
8?
Yeah, I think that's got to be one of the highest. I want to say Return of the King also won 8 or 9. The year that it came out. Yeah.
That's awesome. I do remember it winning stuff, but I didn't know it was that many.
Yeah. I'll quickly look it up. It won 11 Oscars.
Return of the King did?
Yeah, Return of the King won 11 Oscars when it came out in 2003. Yeah. So, I mean, not like, again, 8 is nothing to fucking laugh about, but like, Return of the King won 11. So, I mean, I watched this movie in my college music theory class.
Okay.
So yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty cool. I also thought, just like you, I was like, oh, I remember watching like that Beethoven movie. I remember watching that a few times. Like they showed it in like 4th grade, and then I remember like watching it again in like 6th grade or whatever. So like definitely watch it a few times about like Beethoven's life. I mean, it's just kind of cool, like just kind of get like this little peek into their lives, because it's like these musical geniuses. Like we still listen to their stuff
to their music
now, and like they were making music like hundreds of years ago. But yeah, I mean, I know this movie was pretty lengthy. I mean, you thought it just ended because you didn't know that you had to like flip the DVD over.
I didn't know I had to flip the DVD over. Like, how many DVDs are out there that apparently like
older ones?
Oh no, I didn't know.
Yeah,
it like
2
ended
hours
abruptly.
And 40 minutes.
Yeah, it ended abruptly, and then I was like, "What the hell? Like that's dumb." And then when like we went to go get dinner at Red Robin, and then like I came back and like was talking about it, and I was like, "Is there like another side?" And you're like, "Yeah, there probably is because you missed this." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And then I went up and watched the rest. But
yeah,
all
right. Well,
but either way, Parasite for me.
Yeah. So would you like? I mean, recommend this if like? Well,
again, number one, if you're just a giant classical music fan, this movie will be right up your alley. Or if you just like, kind of like it's like it's
like
not
a historical drama.
Yeah,
kind of.
it's I mean, it's based on his life. So yeah. So if you're a history buff or whatever, but yeah, it would be right up your alley. Yeah. It's not, like I said, it's not a bad movie. It's just not 100% my cup of tea.
All right. So yes, Parasite is the movie that I'm assigning to you this week. All right. So finally, the question of the week. So last week I asked you, what's something that you had as a child that is probably highly collectible now, or you just wish you still had in general? And you said your Nintendo 64 and like your games and cables and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I had a few people reach out, and James, friend of the podcast and just overall friend in general, said that he wished that he still had his Pokemon cards from when he was a kid. Not so much because they're highly collectible and stuff, just because he loved collecting Pokemon and he wished he still had them. And my girlfriend Megan actually also said something Pokemon related. She said her Pokemon Monopoly from when she was a kid And I think she's talked about that before, about how she like asked her grandma about it, and her grandma was like, "Oh yeah, I gave it away to the church yard sale or something like that." And she was like, "Grandma, why? I love that thing."
Have you ever heard about playing a Pokemon game the Christian way?
No.
You've never heard about that before? So you catch like, your 6 Pokemon or whatever. You're not allowed to let them like evolve or whatever, because people always say that like
Oh, yeah,
Christians
yeah,
don't
yeah.
believe in evolution
Yes,
or
yes,
whatnot.
yes.
So, and it's the only reason it's hilarious because like the poster child for it is like a Bidoof, which is a Pokemon from 4th gen. It's just kind of like
Yeah,
this
I know.
fat
I
like
know what it
raccoon
is.
thing, or fat like beaver thing, or whatever.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
his head and then like just a cardinal's like body or whatever, and like animated. I don't know. I remember like when my friend showed me it, I thought it was hilarious.
All right. So kind of keep it like Oscar. Well, not necessarily, not Oscar themed anymore. So, like a couple weeks ago, we talked about something that you would want to see remade,
We
and
did.
you said Star Wars, and I was like, we both totally forgot to say Avatar: The Last Airbender,
Yes.
because M. Night Shyamalan fucking trashed that movie. But anyway, we're not gonna get into that. So the question this week is, what movie or show do you hope never gets remade, or you wish had not gotten remade, like it already got remade and you're like, they shouldn't have remade this? And since we like talked about Mortal Kombat, what's something that you're just like, please never touch this, it's perfect the way it is, or you never should have, they already did it?
That's kind of hard because I don't think I've seen too many remakes.
I can think of one
That-
right now.
I'm gonna sneeze so hard. That's not the name of the movie. I don't know, not off the top of my head that I can really necessarily think about. You might know one that you know that I know, but I not necessarily that I can just it doesn't
Like
immediately
just
jump
a
off.
movie that you're like, never ever ever try to make
Remake it?
this movie again.
I mean, but I could say that about my favorite movie, but I don't
Yeah.
necessarily know that would be in a category of people like, maybe we should remake Gladiator. Like, I don't think they're thinking about doing that.
Yeah, but I didn't say that. I just said, what's a movie that you're like, please don't ever remake this. This movie's perfect the way it is. Like I said, The Gladiator won a few Oscars, so I was like, yes, obviously it's very good.
You know what? I really hope they don't ever try to remake the Lord of the Rings series. Like, with the way technology
Well, we're
has
getting
been,
a show for Amazon.
Yeah. But a show is like a little bit different. Like, even when like the Hobbit series was, way after Return of the King.
It was like 10 years.
Yeah, it was like 10 years after, and whatever. Some of the stuff, like if you compare and contrast both of the series, you can clearly see like where technology has kind of like helped us and stuff. But I hope we don't kind of get to a point where they feel like we could make everything like completely like superb and way more lifelike and literally almost completely brings things to life where no one could ever tell the difference that like any of this was like computer animated and stuff.
I don't want any like
Yeah.
CGI orcs. I want people and
Well,
as
it's
orcs
not just
again.
or any of that stuff. But because at the same time, like you're not gonna have the original cast reprise their roles. So
Oh, yeah.
like I don't want that to be ruined. So yeah, I'm gonna go. Don't ever mess with the Lord of the Rings. Like 20 years from now, leave it alone. It was already amazing.
Yeah. I was certain things just like popped in my head. Like one that kind of got remade and I was like, they never should have done this. Lethal Weapon. They decided to be like, let's make it a
that
TV
TV
show.
show?
And it's like, fuck you.
That TV
The
show,
movies were awesome. The TV show was fucking garbage trash.
the TV show, I actually enjoyed it. Like I didn't hate it. I love those movies so much. But I didn't mind the TV show. The problem was
They
that
should have just never made
the
that
guy
show.
they got to play Riggs, I thought he was like funny and I kind of like what they did with the show, but he got fired at the end of season 1 for like I think it was either lewd behavior or just like sexually harassing women on the
he
set.
was just like an asshole.
He ended
some
up being
shit.
like an asshole in real life, and so
Yeah, then they replaced him, and then again should have.
yeah,
never
they
been.
replaced him with Sean William Scott.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It just
yeah.
never should have gotten made. It fucked it up, and then they're like, "Let's keep this going. We'll just put a new person in who's not Riggs." Like instead of just being like, hey, this is Briggs, we just recast him. Sean William Scott was a brand new, completely different character.
Yeah.
All right, but anyways, guys, that's gonna be it for this episode. Please reach out to us and let us know what you think. If you watched the Oscars, let us know what you thought. Let us know what you think about the whole Chadwick Boseman and Anthony Hopkins thing. Let me know what's something that you would want to see not remade, or you wish it had never been remade to begin with. But as always, you guys can find me at pops.maniac on Instagram, as well as nerdy.bros.inc on Instagram. You can also check out other YouTube videos that are not podcast related at all, which will be dropping every Friday. What about you, Tito?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at BanditoTito93. You can always DM me or just at me at Twitter. Again, as always, love to hear from you guys. Would love to hear more from you guys. Talk to me or us about anything that you want to hear on the show, or anything that you like about the show, or even be little critics. Help us be better at this.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening.
All right, guys. Bye.